Someone slip away, never slip away. I really only met about a week ago. It doesn't seem to my heart. I know that I love her. I'm that I'll never recover. She's good for me, and it would really make me happy to never let it slip away.
Stunning. I appreciate you being here, and you look stunning. Now, again, give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you. But before we get started this morning, I would like to go over a few housekeeping announcements. The ladies' room can be found at the back of the hall in the right corner, but it is the door. At this point, I kindly ask that you switch off or mute all cell phones so as to not distract those around you. Let's take a minute to do that. Thank you. If you make a phone call, please do so outside the hall. It would be appreciated that you would restrict your movement during the process of the program. You see, we have some powerful information to bring to you, and we want the rest of our attendees to feel its full impact without distraction. When lunch is served, like I've been warning, we will make our way to the back 2 rows at a time, starting with our guests, and then the front 2 rows. You see, the serving area is immaculately laid out. Lots of fanciful glassware. We don't want to have anything, but we also want to make sure that people make their way there, get their teas, coffees, snacks, lunch, correction, and find their way back to the hall, at which point it'll allow the next guest to go through. You see, we want you to conduct this movement with consideration and moderation and grace, and I know that you are up for the task. Now lastly, relax, have fun, learn, and grow. You see, the organizers, and there's a whole army of them, have been working tirelessly behind the scenes to bring you an event which will enrich your minds. Are you ready for that? Yeah. Nourish your bodies. I'm all for that. And soothe your soul. Throughout this event, we promise to bring you motivational stories, thought-provoking discussions, uplifting performances, inspirational testimonies, powerful new perspectives on issues, festivities and prizes, and of course some delicious treats. It's a high tea event after all. And you know, when Women of Grace host events such as these, we can always expect a top class production. So make notes, get ready to ask those questions, share in the discussion, because we have that allocated as item number 12 on the program for today. So, my people, my father's people, are we ready to get started? Ah, wait a minute. Are we ready or are we ready? This side is ready. Ladies over here, are we ready? Invest in women. The theme of the event will be unpacked by our keynote speakers this morning. But I want to ask you at the outset, why invest in women? The answer is when you think. When we invest in women, we invest in a brighter future. We invest in their dreams, our dreams. We invest in potential and limitless capabilities. We invest in gender equality, economic growth, and a more just society. When we invest in women, we empower them to earn an income, control their households with their earnings, have their children attend school, and these children will more likely complete high school. Their families are healthier. Their self-worth improves. And their household income increases and grows along with the economy. By investing in women, we celebrate those women like you here today who have broken down barriers, challenged stereotypes, and like many of you will continue to do, like the beautiful young lady at the back, to inspire generations. I do need to ask you a question. How do you like it in the morning? Oh, your eggs. Goodness, do we like it scrambled or sunny side? How do you like your eggs? How many of you like it scrambled in the morning? Just one other, that's okay, but you know what? We are going to actually give Jenny a prize. So a round of applause for Jenny, please. Jenny, thank you so much for being here. Was that easy enough for you? Thank you. Okay, and now over to the music man himself, Mr. Maestro, Mr. Reggie Chellan. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Shellan. A very good day, all you beautiful, gorgeous-looking ladies. Just to remind you, you guys make this world turn. You all are responsible for everything that's good that's happening in this world, and you are the greatest. You're not just women, not women of grace. You're a woman of the world. All right. Okay. I want to start with a song. I always do prior to my shows, prior to my gigs. It's an acknowledgement of all those beautiful people, beautiful souls that we've lost along the way. Could be our parents, could be our brothers, sisters, children, close friends, working colleagues, anyone. We need to remember them, because these are the souls that guide us through our day. It's a song by Kenny Rogers and Lionel Richie. I wanted you for life, you and me in the wind. I never thought the cold eye story would end. Thought understand. I guess I'll have to try. So easy to say goodbye. All the joy you share, all the time we had to spend. If I had one wish, I want for it back again. Well, yeah. Look into your eyes. Hold you when you cry. It's only say I memorize so many memories, some good and some bad. Yes, see it all. These memories will last. Never. Just be sure where you are. Baby, all I need to know. If I listen to my heart, I'll hear your happiness song. There's a lot to say. I'm glad you came our way. It's not easy to say goodbye. Goodbye. I love you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I was feeling like I was at a concert, which I love. You know, music has the power to move us. So thank you so much for that. Can I put in a request? A song written by Lionel, sung by Kenny Rogers. Lady? Or Lady Ken? Lady. All right. If we're ready to move on. As we're moving further into the program, please welcome the stunning, the amazing Miss Tokum Leche to the stage, please. Thank you. And she acting like she's not here, so she need to come on. Come on, darling. It's up to you now. Okay, we can do that. We can do that. Hello. Hello, ladies and a few gentlemen in the house. This is so amazing. I see quite a few familiar faces. The only face I can see now is my nephew's face. He's a big man. It's so amazing. And he even looks older than me. Honestly, I can't believe this. We are so grateful to be graced by you today. Um, I've been called up before I start when you read all protocols, starting from the top. Miss Andrew, our CEO and Director of Women of Grace, our beautiful MC, very vibrant. I thought I was the best MC, but with you around, I feel very threatened. And Daddy Dearest, right there, our musician today. Is Mommy there? Where is she? Gosh, this is so beautiful. Thank you for bringing us all together. So my whole family is here, but I don't see Mommy and Daddy. Maybe they're on the way. Sister Dynamite is right there in the back. We're so scared of her. I'm just brave because I'm on stage. So she's a scary type of a sister. I can just tell you off now, not tomorrow. All right, ladies and gentlemen, on a serious note, without further ado, I've been given a task to introduce our keynote speaker, Mr. Dean Murugan. He grew up in Newlands West, Durban, and later moved with his parents to Masport, where he schools at DHS. He traveled extensively throughout the continent and later settled in the Netherlands with his partner and two daughters. He has worked for reputable companies around the globe. Dean is an associate director at Boston Consulting Group since October 2022. He is a core member of the Climate and Sustainability and Social Impact practices at the firm. Dean is an expert in integrated water resource management and has extensive experience in global water policy and strategy. I hope you do understand. Too big. Dean is the author of several publications and biodiversity on biodiversity, global water policy, nature-based solutions, corporate water risk, and sustainable finance. Before joining BCG, he worked for 8 years at WWF. Do you know that? But he was not one of the, although he looks like them, most recently as global policy lead for water. Before that, he worked as an environmental consultant at Central Rand Gold and as a mining and sustainability consultant at Royal Bafokeng Holdings. And his areas of expertise are only picked three because the list was like 5 pages. And I said, we are not going to talk about you the whole day. Climate change and sustainability, climate risk, adaptation and resilience, and social impact. He's got a master's degree in social innovation at the University of Cambridge. Where is it in Durban? University of Cambridge? Where? Umlazi or something? Very far. And he's got a master's in business administration and honors in from Maastricht. Okay, she did say I can learn from her, so I was doing just that. And MS Environment Science from the University of South Africa, finally. And then he received quite a few honors awards. Honor Society, Beta Gamma Sigma, Mail and Guardian, 200 Young South Africans Making a Difference in Society. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Dean Moving. Over to you.
So, thank you, Auntie Toko. What that whole introduction to told me was, I mean, nothing but gender equality, right? And so, we'll see how we're going to go with this. So, I was asked to speak about the rise of women during the fall of men. Before we do that, can I ask all the ladies to sit? And we'll do a little exercise and also see how nice you all look, right? That's a big question, right, that we need to unpack. So I'm going to say a statement. If the statement applies to you, you think, yeah, that fits me, have a seat, right? So statement number one, you've been a single parent or are a single parent at some point in your life, you have children. Okay? Statement number two, you are 18 or younger. Some of you I know want to sit now, but that time is gone, right? If you are older than 50, you have children. Right? If you've been married for more than 5 years, please have a seat. Right? If you've been hurt in a relationship, please. And our last two ladies, I'll make this one easy. If you have a green dress and a touch of pink, please sit. So what I've actually done is I've segmented this room now into 6 segments, right? All of you are a woman. But the reality is, if I have a conversation with you now, your conscious and your unconscious bias will determine what you tell me. So what do I actually mean by that, right? If I asked a group that sat down that were 18 years and older and they said, you take a seat, and I asked them, what do you think the role of a woman in society actually is? I will get a very different answer if I ask the older and more experienced person. If I ask those who were married for more than 5 years versus those who were hurt in a relationship, right, what their experience of a relationship is, they're going to give me a different answer. So, if I attempt to answer the question, and the rise of a woman doesn't have to be the fall of a man, we're going to have to unpack that a little bit. Because what we're going to do for the rest of this discussion is move away from the very basic box that we put into, and that is a man and a woman. Because in this room, no two women are the same. Your experiences are just fundamentally different. So you decided to do it. That is how people you sat down when you thought something meant something to you. Some of you even said, well, there was another thing that also meant something to you. So there's layers. It becomes really complex. So because no two women are the same, no two men are the same, how do we unpack the question? So I thought, how do we make it as simple as possible? And the art of simplicity is just saying, take away the boxes that we put into, and let's look at ourselves as individuals. Because everybody here is so much more than a woman, and so much more than a man. Your mothers, sisters, daughters, friends, you have careers. So we wear many, many hats. So to look at it purely in gender boxes is going to be a difficult thing to do. So our task for the rest of this discussion is we're going to talk about how do we advance as individuals and bring others along in this journey, right? And that's what we're going to focus this talk on. Now the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to share 5 lessons from my own life. I mentioned I'm not a gender expert. I'm telling you, empowerment, economic development. Maybe I can say some stuff and block my way through the talk. But I'll be honest with you. Right? So I'm going to tell you the one thing I am an expert on, and that's my own life. Right? So we've got 5 things that I'm going to cover. And with each lesson from my own life, I'll share a little story, an anecdote to make it a little bit more real, a little bit more personal. Right? So let's go. Lesson number 1. What makes you different is your spirit. Right? So just take that in for a second. So I lived overseas for about 8 years. Something I realized I was doing, you get into an environment, and naturally we're all intimidated in an environment. It's a new environment, right? So I was there with white Europeans, they went to better schools than me, better universities than me, and you start to retreat into yourself, right? Like, well, do I belong here, right? You get a little bit of imposter syndrome, is the technical term for it. So you then shy away and you start to question, what am I actually doing here, right? Until one day I sat in a meeting, and it was a team building exercise, and everybody had to share their experience on a particular topic and how they saw the topic. So everybody went up, and all the team were white European from different parts of the world. And I was just so happy that I was going last. And after listening to everybody speak, I actually realized, well, hang on a second, right? None of them see the world the way I saw it. Some of them would not be able to point out New West on a map, let alone South Africa or Durban, right? Because of that, I started to realize, actually, how I see the world and how I grew up was actually my strength. Because I could see solutions that they just couldn't, right? And you can't see it because of your experience. Now, how does that translate to you as a woman in your environment? Well, that's something you pretty much all can relate to. Being in an environment where you look at it and think, well, do I belong here? Is this a
a male-only space, right? Or traditionally male-only space? Is it a woman-safe environment? And here's the other thing. You can replicate toxic masculinity as a woman. Because if the only experience that you've had, and if you're a career woman, you can think about this, is seeing a man demonstrate a toxic environment around you and your team, that is your notion of what leadership actually is. And you step into that and replicate it. So even as a feminist, how are you advancing the woman's agenda when you reach the pinnacle of your career or whatever you're trying to do? Lesson number 1, right? Second lesson, become an active citizen. Now this might feel like a strange one. And to a large degree, most of you are actually doing that. So in the introduction, Titoko was saying, I know a little bit about water around the world, right? So show of hands. How many of you have experienced a cut of water where your water was turned off in the last 3 months? Just answer. Yeah? Okay. Now, how many of you know that overwhelmingly around the world, the group that is most impacted by water crises are women and girls? Yeah. Fundamentally, because in most parts of the world, it is the function of a woman and girl to go and collect the water, and 2, has significant effect on sanitation and hygiene, right? So women and girls are impacted the most. Now, where am I going with this, and what does it have to do with being an active citizen? Right? There's power in the collective and being an active citizen. What do I mean by that? Feminist theory, right, and feminist history has dismantled movements that were anti-women for centuries. Go back as far as women burning bras to have the right to vote, to dismantling apartheid. If you cannot speak as a collective to deal with the crises that you face and become active as citizens, you're inadvertently doing yourself a disservice, right? So there is no substitute and for becoming an active citizen. And where this becomes really important in our country, and very important in our context, right? We tend to give away our power very easily. And then we give away our power and we're complaining. Because chances are a man that you voted for and put him in power, right, as a councillor or a mayor, is not doing the function that's affecting your daily lives. It is a human right for water. And your voice as a collective is much more powerful. And if you do that, you can topple mountains. So being an active citizen, number 2, right? Number 3 is a little bit more of a personal one, right? Never stop learning. Yeah? So my mother didn't have any formal education, right? But she is probably my greatest teacher. Yeah? Now, I'll use a very personal example, because I think it will resonate with everybody. So she married young, right? Mixed race, married young into a Hindu family. Not knowing how to do porridge prayers, or make Vedas, Google Earth, none of that, right? A very traditional Hindu family, right? Now, over time she had to learn. But the way in which you learn is extremely important. You can learn and you can resent what you learn out of anger. Like, I married this man, I didn't sign up for this, so why am I learning it? Because why do I have to put up with it? But the way she did it was, I'm going to take control of my own narrative. So I'm going to learn. I'm going to become so good at it that eventually you're going to ask me how to do it. Yeah. And that's what she did. So she took something that could easily be perceived as negative and controlled her own story. And as women, you are the lead characters in your own story, and if you let somebody else control your narrative, you get what they think about you, and not what you think about yourself, right? And I think your ability to open your mind to learn differently allows you to see the world completely differently, right? And one of the things my mother used to always say is that everyone you meet has a lesson to give you, provided you're open enough to take it. and sometimes we're just too close. And especially in a world where we're distracted quite easily, right? The ability to be open enough to hear what somebody actually hear, right? What somebody is saying becomes critical, right? So we've got 2 more to go, almost there. Number 4. Now, this one is a sensitive one. But in a divisive world, and we live in a very divisive world, right? We need to focus on what brings us together rather than what brings us apart. So, I'm going to say something that might be perceived as a little bit controversial. Bear with me. It's a safe space. You can ask me anything. I don't mind. If it's within my realm of possibility, I will answer it. Okay? What do I mean by that? Now, how many of you can cast your minds back to the riots in KZN? Right? Terrible time, ugly time, right? You had, people say 2 communities. When you look at this in the map, it's 1 community. 1 community saying, we're trying to defend our interest, and against another community that is saying, well, socially, I feel I've got a raw end of the stick here, so I'm going to come in, I'm going to take what I can. Now let's take a step back for that, right? How are these communities created and who created the lines? Artificial lines on a road, right? Creates 2 divisions in communities. Let's look at it even further. If we looked at statistics from Bombay and Phoenix in terms of drug use, what do you think we're going to find? How different will those numbers be? If we look at crime rates, how different will those numbers be? So you had 2 people in the same boat, poking holes to sink each other. Right? Did we ever examine the problem from that perspective? We're all in the same boat, right? And we're going to sink it ourselves. But instead of focusing about what brings us together, we chose to look at what makes us different. And the reality of that is you open the door for people to come in and further divide you. So that's lesson number 4, right? Final one. Don't be afraid to be you. It's a very common thing in Indian black communities in general. You have somebody successful in the family, young kids go to visit, you would say, be like that person. Yeah? You know, I had it growing up, cousins would come over, friends, be like that person. But you can't, right? You can only be you. Right? If you're trying to be me, that's not going to work. And if I try to be you, that's not going to work. But if you understand yourself, then the only person you're competing with is yourself. Right? And one thing I wanted to share along these lines, right? There's a German philosopher, and he writes about creating change. Yeah? And he says, to start to create change in anything that you want to do, what matters the most is the condition of the influencer. What he means is that your internal condition, you as the individual, to affect any change, you have to understand yourself, because if you don't do that, you cannot change what you are attempting to do, right? Now, last point here, I know it's Saturday, I'm standing between you and IT, but all of these 5 lessons can be summed up really simply. And if you remember nothing from what I just said, this is the part, take your notes or phones or whatever, this is the one, right? It's 3 things. Number 1, approach the world with an open mind, right? This will enable you to see everything it has to offer. Yeah? It's so much more than just your backyard, Phoenix, Durban. You can keep going, right? And that's most important, is keep an open mind to it. The second bit is keep your heart open to receive the love and give the love that you want, right? And the third bit is make sure you have an open will. And this is an important one, because you have to have the willingness to grow yourself and allow others to grow. So that's my story. Thank you very much. I am here for your questions. I will answer anything, no problem. And thank you for listening. You all look very beautiful today. It's been my pleasure to be able to talk to you. Thank you. So, Program Director, let me take some questions,
Yes.
or how are we going to do?
Ladies, do we have any questions or something to clarify for our speaker today? Come now, don't be shy. Do you have a question, ma'am? Nothing at all if I attach a prize to it?
Or was I so confusing that...
Or were you that articulate?
Well understood. Thank you.
So let's see if we can recap. You need to keep an open mind, and an open heart, and an open will. All right, there we go. And how many life lessons do we really take into consideration in the short while that you can be with us? 5. Which one then resonated the most with you? Anybody would like to expand on a thought? Yes, oh well, there we go. Here I come. Please introduce yourself, my lovely.
Hi, I'm Judy. Dean, I think one of the most profound things you've said, which I haven't heard other people speak on, is when women are in leadership, it is assumed that our role models is always male. And it's 100% correct what you're saying. Women get into leadership positions, and in my experience, and it's many years, I've seen women who are feminine before they get their leadership roles. And once they get a leadership role, and I speak to all of them from a very sincere place, listen to me, I've seen women become vicious. I've seen women become aggressive. I've seen women dress like men. You know, one of the things I decided quite late in my career actually, was that I was going to dress as a woman. Okay? Don't put me in a black coat, don't put me in a black pants, it does not represent me. I am female first. And the second thing we've got to take into our roles is that we are mothers, and we are wives, and we are sisters. Don't get into a leadership role, and when you've got staff, and they've got children who've got issues, and the creche has got an issue. Do you know the most toxic people I've had to work with is women in leadership. They're unsympathetic, they're aggressive, they're angry, they're yelling. We miss the role of what we take, and that's a lot of what Dean said, the first sentence, is be you. You know what I've learned is that you go through a lot as a woman, and the opportunity you get to manifest your potential is what you take to that situation. So as an example, a lot of women go on maternity leave and most companies don't pay you. Now you get a leadership position. Are you going to be the one who sits there telling everyone, well, let me tell you, you go sort your life out, you've got this 4 months. Or are we going to say, I have influence, how can I help this person? What can I do differently? Because when I was pregnant and I had to stay at home, this is how I experienced it. So I do think it's very important, and for me, honestly, the most profound thing I'm taking away is that when you get your role of influence, ask yourself, how would I have done this differently? Rather than just follow on and do what we've always seen with roles that were predominantly male. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Judy. That was very impactful. Would anybody else like to share an anecdote or something that resonated with you during our speech this morning, during our Dean's chat with you? Somebody, anybody? Yes, okay, here I come again. You got me doing steps today, huh?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Annalene. I think for me, what touched me was the first question that Dean asked. How many of you are single mothers or single parents? And then the room just felt silent, and then you felt, you saw a lot of women sit down. And I think as women, you always tend to sell yourself short and just think that that is the lot that you're meant to carry as a single mother. And I found that also what you said was you've got to have an open heart. Because I think along the line, many of us have, as women, have been hurt before. And it's important to open yourself up, not necessarily to another relationship, but to avoid the bitterness from creeping in and to always be true to you. And remember, I think also for me, it's important to know that you are loved, firstly by an amazing, faithful God, and then you have people around you that support you, because if you look at all the women in the room, we've all taken the time to gather here on a Saturday. And generally, if you look at our normal Saturdays, it's chores, it's cooking, it's cleaning, and it's all of that. But you set this time aside to place a value on you as a woman. So I think there's a great power in it, and also to have a male affirm that for you is so powerful. Because we could have got a female to come in and then they would have just somehow brushed over your head because it's from another female to another female. But when you have a male having to reaffirm who you are and add value to you and to give you advice on where you should see yourself as a woman, because I think a lot of times we all just think our days are having to go to work, come home, plain mundane things. And I think to find yourself in a place of value is very important.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll take a last question. Oh, thank you. Here we go.
Hi, ladies, once again. I think the thing that resonates with me and which was very powerful when you spoke, Dean, was we as women should not compete with others. You are always the best version of yourself, and the only person you need to compete with is yourself.
So I'll share one more anecdote with you, and it comes back to this point on leadership. And I was serving on a board meeting, and they asked me to look at diversity, equity, and inclusion. Right, you know, it's a buzzword, right? And they sat down, and we were looking at who they hired, right? And the response from the chair of the board was that if we put a black woman in this position, we've reached our target. So, I said, hang on a second. Who came before her? White men. Before that, white men. How many people in your executive do you hire? What do they look like? This is how it's looked like white male for about 15 years. So how have you set up that person to succeed? You haven't, right? And I then went, and researched it. And what I found is, typically, we place bandages or plasters on head wounds, right? Rather than fixing the root cause of the problem. So we think by just saying, I'm going to take a group of women and put you in what was a historically male space, and high-five you and say, good luck, I'll see you in the next month, tell me how you're progressing with women economic empowerment. They're not going to progress much. They're like, well, we tried, we put women there, clearly they weren't good enough for the job. So, I guess that was a failed experiment. So what's really important with it is before you say yes to something, understand if that space is actually a space which you are set up for success. Yeah? Because not everybody on the surface value has your best interest at heart. And I think that's a really important consideration when you think about, and it's not just in the, you might think that, well, that only applies to, a career environment. And Chellan was using an example the other day when she went to a hardware store. Traditionally male space. How many of us in the room here would you feel safe to go into that space and think, yeah, I'm going to get somebody who's going to trust me and give me the best possible advice based on my question? Or I'm going to get somebody who's going to take me for a ride because he thinks, here's a woman and she doesn't know what she's asking for about the paint or the hardware, whatever you're looking for, right? So always keep that in the back of your mind. Assess the space, right? And I think that goes a long way to claiming back the environment. Because if you know a space is unsafe, you can start to ask the right questions and build the safety. Not just for you, but everyone else who comes after. Thank you.
Dean, before you go, could you kindly assist us while Mr. Chellan gets ready to pull the next name? And we have a question for this lovely lady. Who is this? Anita Barbara? Anita, give Anita a round of applause. But Anita, before you get your gift, I need to ask a question. Are we ready for the question? Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the question? Yes. Lovely Anita. If you were a Bond girl, right, from the James Bond movies, yeah, who would you choose as your James Bond? Would you like Sean Connery? Would you like Roger Moore? Would you like Daniel Craig? I mean, you could choose anybody. Who would you choose as your James Bond? It could be Akshay, it's fine with me. Anybody, choose one. Even Dean, let's go for it. Who would you like? There's some Bond music. Thank you so much. Thank you. A round of applause for our keynote speaker, everybody. Thank you so much. And Mr. Chellan, if you could take us away with something and sway us, and is it okay if we like feel the beat? Because yeah, I need to vibe. I mean, you know, we look fabulous today, all right, but how is Mr. Maestro's shirt, everybody? Let's give it up for Mr. Chellan's shirt. All right, thank you so much, Mr. Chellan.
One, two. It's not only, in fact, August only shouldn't be a woman's month. All the months of the year should be women's month. Am I right, guys? Yes. Right? Because you're the best. You're make things happen. You're the backbone of the house, of everything, you know, in the workplace. So you should remember that. And seeing that we are here to celebrate you, women, I'm going to sing a song in your celebration. All right, here we go. Something about Cool in the Gang. Hey, come on. Put your hands together there. Celebration, hey, let's all celebrate, we'll have a good time. Celebrate good time, come on, hey. You got we'll have a good time together. It's up to you, what's your pleasure? Everyone, round up, come on, hey, come on. Yeah, it's a celebration. Yeah, it's a celebration. Celebrate good time, come on, hey, come on. Celebrate good time, come on, hey. Let's celebrate. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's alright, hey. We're gonna have a good time tonight, hey. Let's celebrate. It's alright. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's alright. We're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's celebrate. It's gonna right. We're moving on the shopping. Baby, come on, baby. Celebrate good time. Come on, baby. Celebrate good time. Come on, baby. Celebrate good time, come on, hey. All right, thank you.
And I'm not losing my marbles, I'll tell you that much. All right, so here we go. We've had some profound messages. We've had, is this thing on? Yes, thank you. We've had some fun and prizes, and I'm telling you, I'm going to have to challenge somebody to a dance-off on this here carpet here. Because I think I was sitting for too long. You know, Mr. Chellan, I'm telling you, the next time I'm going to get up and dance. Sorry, I just gave the sorry, the evil eye. Sorry about that. But at this point, we're going to hear an inspirational story. You see, Sharon has this group, the Women of Grace group, and some of you are on the chat. But we have discussions on Fridays, and one of these ladies who we're going to call up now has testimony to help you understand how Women of Grace has helped impact her and accelerate her growth and progress. So please help me welcome the lovely Mrs. Tina Naidu to the stage. Thank you. I love you. Always good seeing you.
They thought I would never hear their whispers. They were wrong. Their whispers weren't soft enough. They thought I would never see the knife stuck in my back. They were right for some time, because I never saw it immediately. They thought I would never know that they were selling my organs behind my back. Did my big smile blind them? Now how, speaking to my lungs, falling flat onto the ground. Good afternoon to all you beautiful ladies and gents. Today I stand here, an ex-convict, trapped in her own emotions, emotionally led, spiritually dead, an ex-convict of the 21st century modern day woman, an ex-convict of hurt, pain, unforgiveness, and bitterness. Ladies, here's a small insight from where I'm coming from. Have you ever been in a situation where your good friends were the ones you thought would always have your back, like the way you had theirs? Have you ever been in that situation? But I've only learned this, but I realized it was just a charade. With every accomplishment I achieved at work, my happy moments were always temporary. It always got drowned with pain from so many daggers lodged in my back that penetrated my heart. Ladies, this is just a small part of the story until I eventually left work. Yes, emotionally led, spiritually dead, and mentally messed up. It was only when I started to fall in love with my Savior. It was at that time, sorry, I'm just so nervous. Can I please leave, sir? I'm feeling very emotional. It was only during my spiritual journey where I was starting to fall in love with my Savior. At this time I met Melissa after a very long time. But I know it was no coincidence. It was God's appointed time. We chatted for a while, and then she introduced me to the Women of Grace chat. And then I was introduced to Sharon. At the time, I was a bit skeptical about this chat. But wow, today I can proudly say I was wrong. I love everything WAG stands for. A godly chat. A chat where there's no judgment, discrimination. A chat where money, race, or status doesn't matter. It's a chat where women from different walk paths of life coming together, undress their souls from sharing their lives' experiences, their testimonies, and sharing a godly word to motivate each other, fixing and straightening each other's crowns, where we have a leader that motivates these programs, with many accolades to her name, but yet so humble, because she knows her purpose. Beside her stands Melissa, a strong, godly woman who's always got Sharon's back. Seeing this, we're women standing together, yes, another wow. It happens, but very rarely in this world.
This shows godly character. The walk chat has been a big part of my transformation. With all the inspirational posts, to all the programs and all the sessions, this chat has really inspired, motivated, and encouraged me. Today I'm in a peaceful place. I'm filled with godly confidence. Yes, I'm in fall, but I'm quick to wake up and dust myself and move forward. I may get bruised, but not scarred. I have learned not to be petty, because there's many other women out there that faces challenges. Our programs on the chat has helped me change the way I look at life. It has given me a fresh mindset from taking care of my mind, body, and soul, to discovering my hidden talents. But then when you have Chellan around, like I said, she will hijack you and she'll make it a duty to pull it out. And then you have Melissa, who makes you feel like a pro. And then to see these women, with women like these leading the chat with no hatred, discrimination, like I said, it was God's perfect timing. And when He ordains something for your life, to every detail of every circumstances, and the very atmosphere around you must be rearranged. Because work always puts God in the center of all the motivational chats, encouragements, testimonies. I stand here as a changed woman of God who had taken back what I handed over to the devil. A woman who knows her worth, her potential, but most of all, woman of grace has helped me restore trust and friendship again. I thank you, Sharon, for always pushing and motivating me and listening to me. I thank you, Melissa, for always being me. And I thank the rest of you beautiful ladies who's been on the chat. Your participations, your testimony really helps me because it makes me realize I was not the only one that went through situations. I was not the only one that got hurt. You know, sometimes we just feel it's all about us and us and us and us. But then when you start hearing testimonies and when you start hearing everyone else's stories, you realize we're all in this together and all we gotta just do is have faith and move forward and just carry on. And I thank Sharon a lot for this chat. It has changed me and it has motivated me. I'm not the same person that I used to be. I can't see myself being the way I was. And I thank you for that.
Thank you so much. That was very moving. That was real. You could feel the passion. You could feel the pain. So, Tina, thank you so much for that. At this point, we call upon the lovely, sorry, is that me? Okay. We call upon Ms. Toko to please help us welcome our next keynote speaker to the stage. So, Ms. Toko, over to you.
Thank you, Program Director. I always look at our next speaker as a gardener, because you know what a gardener does? He plants a seed and he watches it grow. And that's what I've observed. To sum up, our next guest speaker, Mrs. Chellan Pillay, I don't know whether it's because of her profession, speaking from a social work point of view, we watch people grow after we've planted the seed. She's a social work therapeutic manager / helpline manager at Chellan, KwaZulu-Natal. She's been married for 15 years to John Pillay, and they are blessed with 2 beautiful children. One of them is here with her, Genesis, she's 14 years old, and her son is Christian, 10 years old. She's the chairperson of the Parish Pastoral Council of God, of Good Shepherd Catholic Parish. And she's also a UNISA student supervisor and facilitator, supervising 4th year level social work students and facilitating community work modules for 3rd level students. Currently, she's the social work therapeutic manager for 11 social workers at Chellan in KwaZulu-Natal, North and Ilembe districts. This is this side of Durban. Currently, she oversees the 24-hour helpline for Chellan KZN with 9 counselors that provide telephonic support to children over 116 toll-free numbers. Not saying that when you call you will hear her voice. She is supervising at that level. She was employed as a social worker at Devon and Coastal Mental Health for 15 years in Phoenix until 2022. She was the chairperson of the Phoenix Network Forum for 8 years. She was elected as the treasurer of the Phoenix Local Drug Action Committee, and she is involved in education and awareness on substance abuse in schools. She's a very influential woman to an extent that in 2021 she was nominated for an Influential Woman of the Year award. And currently she is an expert in gender-based violence, not as a perpetrator, but, but as an empowerment official. And she's also a child abuse specialist, not as a child abuser, but in child protection. Counseling for persons with psychiatric illnesses and their families. She's also putting more emphasis on depression, bipolar mood disorder, anxiety, and schizophrenia. She also has specialities in counseling services to persons with intellectual disabilities and their families, suicide prevention and counseling, trauma debriefing, and also specializes in creation of a violent-free zones in Phoenix, prevention and treatment of domestic violence. Yes, I stopped there. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Chellan. Isn't she gorgeous? Over to you.
I'm very angry you clapped louder for Dean. And you didn't even wear a bright color today. Okay, ladies, my apologies to the lady in the back who didn't want to hear from a lady speaker at a Women's Day event. However, Dean set the most perfect platform, and I think it's so aligned to a lot of what I'm going to be speaking on today. I actually don't want to hide behind this podium. I'm going to show my dress, right? You're dressed up to show your dresses. Me too. To Women of Grace, thank you for inviting me. It's our second event with you. And to all the ladies that left the cowls and the housework and everything else, well done for being here and on time. So, we're closing off Women's Month. How many of you here attended a Women's Day function this month? Almost all of you, I'm sure. The churches, everyone was jumping on the back. Even the Phoenix Plaza was having Women's Day events. They were giving nice gifts. I don't know if anyone attended. But why then do we have to still have these empowerment sessions and women empowered women empowering each other? We have to keep needling each other and reminding ourselves of what we need to do as women. And then I had to sit back and say, okay, because you know, ladies, we just like to make a big deal of everything. So we had to make sure Women of Grace had to have a Women's Day event and catering and everything, decor, all that. But the reason that you are here today is by divine purpose and intervention, not just for the IT, and not just that you have to get away from the housework. You're here because you want to be changed and inspired to be a better you. And in being a better you, you have to start on the premise of that we sometimes mess up. We're not perfect. And I know we all walk around with a chip on your shoulder thinking, ooh, I'm all that. I don't do that, I don't gossip, I don't backbite, I don't tear my sister down, I don't bring anybody down, I don't do anything wrong, my husband is a problem, my children are a problem, my sister-in-laws are definitely the problem, the dog is the problem, my neighbors are the problem, everybody is the problem. Because we have an issue as women with recognizing our weaknesses, right? Yeah. Or is it just me? Yeah. Because sometimes even your best friend, I think Toka and Sharon are best friends, right? Even if Toka says to Sharon, I think you put too much of eyeshadow today. No matter the fact that it's coming from her best friend, she's going to listen to it, but not completely, openly. Why are you telling me I'm wearing too much eyeshadow? So sometimes as women, we have this thing in the social profession, it's called the Johari window. I don't know if anyone knows about it. It's about how people perceive us and how we perceive ourselves. And it's so important in women's mind for us to recognize what is it that I do well, what is it that I'm struggling with, what is it that I can improve on. And yes, we're very good, and thank you, Tina, for saying how wonderful the Women's of Grace chat has been for you in wanting to improve yourself. But then we sometimes lose the essence of what should I be fixing because there's something wrong with me. Now, the theme for Women's Month this year, if anyone didn't know, even though we got the public holiday and we got all the events to go to, the theme this year was 30 years of democracy towards women's development, encouraging all women to celebrate their accomplishments, big or small. And there was a long introduction of myself that I wished it wouldn't have been read. But sometimes, why is it as women, we are so shy to hear how much we've accomplished? Not because we have pride, not because we want to boast, but because we've accomplished those things. If you were able to cook and clean with the water cut in Phoenix, and make sure your house is shining and you did the Listerman and you were able to prepare, the laundry is done, your kids are fine, you helped with homework. If you accomplished that for today, say to yourself, well done, I got it done, all before 11:30 before this event. Why do we have to wait for somebody else to say, oh thank you, we appreciate it, well done. Why are we waiting? And then we complain when we don't hear the well done. We complain and kick and scream and have roll our eyes and pull our face when no one is saying thank you. But did you appreciate yourself and celebrate that accomplishment that you've done? Small or big. When you learn how to make roti, in my life I realized it's something I'm never going to be able to get right. But when you celebrate even those small things, that you managed to put eyeliner straight, that you were able to cook something that you didn't know how to, those are things that you should celebrate. So, if I can just start my presentation then. I come from a mental health background, and in a mental health background, you're dealing with women who are just like you and I, right? You would never know in this room. With physical disability, you can see it. However, with mental disability, you cannot see it. So, the woman sitting next to you could be dealing with depression, could have suicidal tendencies, could have a mood disorder, could have anxiety, you don't know. So what I realized is you never know, even the lady sitting in this room, you don't know what happened when she came from home because we are the experts on putting on these masks. We are the experts, right? And we're so good at it. I could have the biggest fight with my husband, and yes, I did, on our way here, but you'll never know. I will never let my guard down because he may be late. But ladies, what we realize is that we are all carrying these baggages of so much, but yet we can just switch it off and just block it out and just continue. And when you end up in a mental health facility requiring counseling or getting admitted to hospital because you just can't cope, it's because we've just said, I'll deal. No, it's okay, I'll deal with it tomorrow or next week. Because we've not acknowledged that it's important to recognize what the symptoms and the triggers were. So my presentation today is going to be on knowing yourself into becoming this mentally healthy woman. And I think Dean mentioned it at the very beginning of his presentation about do you know who you are, and this huge thing of imposter syndrome, right? We live in this world where we all have these social media sites, and how many of you updated your statuses today? How many of you looked at another status today? Please put your hand up if you viewed a status. What were you looking for? What were we looking for? We were looking at who's where, what are they wearing, where did they go, which restaurant they went to, what new outfit they got right over, what shoes they're wearing. It's about what everybody else is doing. Why are we doing this? Did anybody ever think about what does it do for us when we do this? Right? It's doing something for us, but what is it doing? It's because we're looking at other people and and what they do. We're forgetting about who we are. And what is it that genuinely makes me happy? What is genuinely separating me from the next person? Yes, it's all well and good to want to have a flat tummy like somebody else, or a fancy hairstyle like Sharon's, or perfect eyebrows like this lady with the pink. It's all well and good, right? To want to have those things that other people have, but then are you not downplaying who you are? And a mentally healthy woman, I have just a few points, is one that knows she deserves happiness. We as women are so hard on ourselves, we beat ourselves up every day for wanting more, wanting to do better, wanting to make sure everything is done at home, be the perfect wife, sister, niece, granddaughter, daughter. We put a lot of pressure on ourselves of wanting more of ourselves all the time. But yet we feel like it's not okay just for us to chill and just be happy. And it's okay to be happy. And when you're happy, you don't have to punish yourself. When you're laughing and smiling, even though you didn't pay the light bill and you got so much going on and you don't have enough energy to deal with your child with behavior problems, but you can still be happy. And why do we find or struggle to be happy? Because happiness is not something that you can buy. It comes from within. And if you are able to embrace your own happiness and realize that you deserve to be happy, that's one step in the right direction. Okay? Anyone here has been happy in the last few days? It's month-end. Okay? A mentally healthy woman also knows that she deserves respect. Respect from who? Not respect from the whole world, self-respect. Right? Self-respect yourself. I don't know about this dress and just being a little turn his eyes that side a little bit. You know, this dress now is a little bit low and everything was showing and everything. I'm thinking, is this okay? And is this respectful enough for me? Because it's self-respect. If you want the respect of others, it has to start respecting yourself. Don't sway yourself when you stub your toe and say, you know all the colorful words we use. Or don't be so hard on yourself where you are not able to use good words on yourself. Right? When you're looking at yourself, don't say, look, what are you doing with your life? It's such, you're doing exactly what everybody said you'll become. You know, we use those words like negative self-talk in our mind. And we're so hard on ourselves, and that's why it's so easy to everybody else to be hard on us. And then we want to be bitter women and frustrated women when people don't respect us and show us happiness when we don't do it for ourselves. Making sense, ladies? Yes. I hope I'm not preaching here, right? A mentally healthy woman knows then that she prioritizes herself. Now, there's a difference between managing your time and balancing and prioritizing yourself. Because yes, a woman can balance work, home, school, cooking, everything, friendship, but do you prioritize you? And I'm not just saying prioritize you when you need to go and have a shower and just change. I'm saying prioritize you and recognize when I'm not feeling okay. I can find myself becoming very frazzled and irritable and agitated. You know those days, not only when it's period time. Sometimes we like that all the time. I don't know if there's any ladies here that like that. Because nobody wants to be around a frustrated, agitated woman. You think about your sister-in-laws, right? Sorry, I heard three. When you are in that mood, no one wants to be around that energy. Because when you go to a family function, you know those women. You want to stay far away because as soon as you go there, by then they got stories. They're complaining and complaining. So a mentally healthy woman is then going to be able to prioritize herself to know, okay, something's not right here. Maybe I need a day, I need an hour, I need 5 minutes just to get myself together. I need Saturday just to go and get away from the house, get away from everybody because I know I'm not feeling okay. But you're not going to be able to do that if you don't know yourself. How will you be able to do that if you don't know you're becoming naggy and frustrated and irritating? You're not a nagging word. No, you're a very good woman here. Okay? A mentally healthy woman is not a people pleaser. Any people pleasers here? Lots. Women love to people please. And why do we people please? Inherently, there's something happening subconsciously why you have to people please. But it's just women have found it's easier. Right? It's easier. You don't want to deal with the drama, you don't want to deal with the moods and the attitude and the negative energy. So you just say yes, yes for everything. So when every time, every weekend, your sister, I can see you nudging and saying that's you. Yeah, and the one that's saying that's you, it's probably you as well. Right? You know when you don't want the visitors and you're not happy to have visitors, but you just have to accept it. You don't have to. You have to be assertive enough to say, this week is not a good week for me and my family. Can we please postpone? I can't come out for dinner with you guys this week, maybe because you don't have the money, but you can also make something up, right? Because sometimes we ourselves get ourselves into debt just to people please. You're having these fancy functions and events for what? To people please. You stay in relationships to people please. They say, the Indian language is you made your bed, you must stay on it, you stick and stick and stick and stay with this man, and you can see there's no change, but you people please, it's easier to deal with the family this way, it's easier to deal with my colleagues and my friends, because you don't want people to judge you. They were not saying that's me. So I'm glad we're identifying, because when we identify, it means then we're learning about ourselves. And sometimes we need to know these negative things about ourselves that eventually create us. Oh, am I being reminded? I've got 5 minutes. Okay. This MC is on the wall here. Chellan, she's bullying you, but she's doing a very good job. Okay, we'll move on from people pleasing. A mentally healthy woman knows how to assert herself. And some back earlier said women have become very aggressive. Correct? Because we don't know how to be assertive instead of aggressive. When we talk, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Right? Oh, you're very good. I'm preaching to the stage. Let me move on. My 5 minutes, I won't waste it there. A mentally healthy woman walks away from, this is the good side, walks away from toxic relationships. Right? Toxic relationships, and sometimes we hold on as women. We hold on to relationships because of the past and what it gives you. The feelings and experiences those relationships gave you. But sometimes as women, you need to recognize, what is this relationship doing to me? Is it adding value to me as a person? And cutting yourself off from toxic relationships doesn't make you a bad woman. It makes you a woman who knows herself. A toxic relationship can even be with family. Right? My job as a social worker is to keep families together, but sometimes, in the day and age that we're living right now, toxic relationships are real within families, and you need to recognize that. A mentally healthy woman walks away from undeserving men, and then there was a scream in the audience. Yay! Right? A mentally healthy woman walks away from undeserving men, also undeserving workplaces, undeserving friends, because there is such a thing as undeserving. Right? This side of the audience is doing a lot of nodding and yes, that's not standing this side, right? A mentally healthy woman does not engage in drama. And I'd like to say drama in capital letters, because as women, it's Women's Month. Right now in this room, we've had 31 days, but I'm sure in this room, and you walked in, you looked at a woman and you judged somebody. You thought a bad thought about somebody that you didn't even have a conversation with. Like you said, where's this one coming with a deep dress here? Or you have, in your mind, we have been conditioned to behave that way. So I'm challenging women in this room to stay away from the drama. You need to change the way you think. Changing the way you think means changing the way you see people. And not just people, the way you see your sisters. Because it's not the men that's breaking women down. It's not the husbands and the sons. It's our sisters, our sister-in-laws, our grannies, our aunties are the words that we use. So no woman in this room is judging anyone and talking about anyone's bad hair or anything. A mentally healthy, and 2 minutes, a mentally healthy woman treats herself like a queen. Right? You don't only buy yourself a lipstick once a year. You don't just take yourself out for a cup of coffee or buy yourself a You magazine when it's your birthday. You are setting the tone for how other people respond to you. If you don't do it for yourself, don't complain when nobody does it for you. Or if your children don't take you or give you once a month, give you 500 rand to go to the casino. Or they don't take you to Ocean Basket. They're sitting in the restaurant and you're busy to eat the home cooked food. It's because you set the pattern, you set the tone. Yes, both of you. Right. A mentally healthy woman does not hide her strength. Right? If you are good at something, you say it. You celebrate it. You let people know, this is my thing. I'm good at this. In a family function, I will celebrate. I'm good at this. I'm good at making roti. I'll make the roti. No, don't act because you want to buy now from Tazas and all that. No, this is my strength. Or for example, if you're good at making people feel welcomed, you recognize and celebrate those strengths. A mentally healthy woman does not need validation. You don't need a pep talk all the time. You don't need someone to keep telling you, you're doing well, you got this. You don't need that, because you know yourself. A mentally healthy woman knows who she is, right? And you know who yourself, you're not going to need your husband or somebody else's husband to tell you you're beautiful. And lots of whistles are good. And finally, as a rule of thumb, people don't like it when women know their worth. You know, when you enter a room and you know who you are, they feel uncomfortable. But that's their thing. You know your worth, right? Don't be arrogant like me now. You know your worth, right? Oftentimes they get called all sorts of things, like difficult, or she's all that, or uppity, or she's better than everybody. That's why women who proudly stand for themselves and refuse to settle for less than what they are worth are strong and should be admired for it. So if you know of a woman like that, you go up to that woman and say, well done. You know, you're doing great. Show me how I can be like you. And it's not a weakness to go to a woman and say, show me how you got your eyeliner straight or your lip liner. Show me how you did this. Why can't we do that? Why? Because you think you're going to lose something by doing that? No. If you find that you are one of those women, be proud of yourself. If you are not one of those women, don't worry. Build your own sense of self-worth. Try to understand yourself, and you will be standing tall and proud as a strong woman yourself. Thank you very much, ladies.
This one is the main one. Thank you. Don't go.
Oh, okay, no problem.
Thank you. A round of applause for Charlene. Please do stay.
Going to help us, let's see if I'm correct here. Oh, you're going to help us choose the next lucky lady, please. Would you like to ask her a question?
Oh God, my name's in
Who? Oh, God, yeah, I'm sorry. Beryl, I don't know how to say your surname, Beryl. Narayansamy. Narayansamy. Beryl Narayansamy, come on up. Can we please have a round of applause for Beryl?
Yes, Jocelyn.
Beryl, your snake skin is on fire today. So the question I have for you is, can you give us 2 things of how you can be a mentally healthy woman?
Something that I've done for myself is take time out for yourself. Because life gets very busy. So I prioritize myself, the things.
Can we just get Beryl in front of the camera? We're being live streamed, y'all.
Okay, yeah. I prioritize myself. Life gets busy, but if your cup is not full, you cannot share with others. That's something that resonates with me. So, yeah, that's one thing. The second thing would be sleep. It's something we're deprived of because we always have so many things going on, and we feel as women, you need to wake up early, you need to do this, you need to make sure everybody else is taken care of. But if you are not rested well enough, you're never going to be able to push yourself to the limit.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that.
Yay.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I didn't catch the photographer's name. Sorry, sir. Your name is? Okay, thank you so much. Well, actually, I've been making notes, so is it okay if I go around and ask questions? Did I forget to tell her that there's a test? Sorry, let me take that to stage. Well, we are going to feed you, we're entertaining you, we're educating you. You got to take a test.
That's all right? So I'm going to ask with this. Let's see which one I'll go for first. I like this. What can I fix within myself? You know, for some of us, that answer might not come to us right now. It's okay. We're going to go away. We're going to pray on it. We're going to think about it. We're going to do some soul searching. But, okay, you know me. I'm a speaker. You got that, right? I am a speaker by trade. I'm a teacher. So I talk all the time. So something that I know I need to fix within myself, I need to listen more. I need to listen to the needs of my learners, of my parents who are coming to me with questions. I need to listen. Because sometimes as soon as somebody says something, oh, I got a solution. No. I need to take a step back and I need to listen. In fact, funny story, true story, that's how I met Sharon. Sharon was a concerned parent who came to set a few things straight at our school. And so she and I sat down and I had to listen. Because when Sharon spoke, there was some truth. It might not have been something I recognized within myself at the time, but I took stock of it. So I think I need to get back to that, Sharon. This program has definitely made me realize what can I fix within myself. And it's going to be something I'll work on, but I do think for now, let me try and listen a little more. Is there anybody who feels they'd like to share what they would like to fix at this point? No, getting stage. Oh, Ms. Toko, here I come for you. Do you need a mic, Toko? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I asked.
I have a horrible voice. So mic comes. Thank you so much, Shani. I think issues of mental health are so profound in women, and it's really sad because you may find yourself, you know, excusing yourself when you are actually in it. In my journey of rediscovering myself and my mental health, I realized that I'm a people pleaser. Okay, I'm good-hearted by nature. I'm very soft-spoken. I'm a very soft person who's very feminine. I'm trying to learn how to be masculine because every woman has that in them. But my masculinity is not coming up because I'm a people pleaser. And that is what I really need to work on. Maybe I need to go to therapy with Shannon. I don't know, maybe I'll end up telling you what to tell me. You know, you will end up listening to me and not even. But it's a problem that most of us have. And people pleasing goes beyond just your immediate people. It goes to other people as well and end up being taken advantage over. And that is what I've realized.
Thank you. Thank you for the talk. Well, there's something else. Can anyone help me understand how mentally healthy women get to be where they are? How do we get to be at this point? What must you do? What are some of the tools that were imparted to us, the pearls, the wisdom? How? A mentally healthy woman knows that she deserves. Help me? Yes, ma'am. She deserves better. Can we have a round of applause? Absolutely. A mentally healthy woman knows that she deserves. Ma'am? A mentally healthy woman, what does she know that she deserves? Self-respect. Can we have a round of applause? Absolutely. Okay, let's go on to the side. Let's go on here. Hello, my lovely ladies. Would anybody like to help me with that? When you're a mentally healthy woman, as Toko said, we know not to be a people pleaser, but we also know when it's time to walk away. And be it from that toxic relationship or that toxic friend or that situation. So ladies, you got some work to do. We got to put our shoulders to the wheel here. We're going to do this. We're not saying it's going to strip our femininity. We're saying we're going to be stronger from this. Because at some point we know the mother-in-law wants the roti made, Shani, is that it? And you know what? I can do it. Yes, she can. Is that okay? Even if the roti is not as perfect as the mother-in-law, it's all right. You did it your way. Yes, ma'am. It's okay. We'll take that too. Thank you for that. Let's see. Can I go? Anybody want to share something with anything at this point? Should I just keep going? Yes, of course. Ma'am, please come to the front and introduce yourself and let's take center stage.
I love center stage.
Come through. Please introduce yourself.
Must I take my jacket out so you can see my beautiful dress?
It's up to you.
Thank you, Madam Director, and the speakers, and most especially I want to thank my sister Shireen for inviting me here today to share this beautiful morning. Like the previous speaker said, how many times this month that we've had women empowerment talks and speeches, and yes, we did. I come from a corporate environment, and we've been having it every day. But the saddest part is it's this month. You know, we rely on each other to empower each other. And how often do we do that for each other? Having your groups is fantastic, perfect. But from your groups, what do you share with the people in your lives? And I'm not only talking about your little circle, I'm talking about work. And like Dean mentioned, if the knowledge that you take from here and you share, and even you took one thing, and you shared that one thing, and if that 10 people listened, one person took that knowledge, you shared, you empowered another person. But to come back to our Madam Speaker, and I'm saying this from my own personal experience, it is okay to change your thoughts and your opinions. I am standing here as a 56-year-old woman. My sister is testament to the fact that I've been through a lot in my life. It wasn't easy. Saddest part is, you look at this, and you look at the outcome of that 56 years, nobody understands how I came to this. Only I do. And the ones that were very close to me and held my hands know. Yes, 30 years ago, with conviction, I could have said, red is black. Okay? Because that was my knowledge 30 years ago. That, what I said, red is black, was because that's what I knew then. But as I stand here, I can tell you red is red because I've matured. I've learned. Learned not only from myself, but from people around me. So the one thing that I've learned for my mental health is to say, yes, I've changed my thoughts and I've changed my opinion. And even if somebody comes and say, who remembered, which is strange because the ones that are negative in your life are the ones who remember what you said 30 years ago, you can stand there with conviction and say, my knowledge, my thoughts have changed. I am different now. I can think differently. I can change my thoughts and my opinion.
Thank you very much for this.
Oh, please, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. We have a prize for you. That was beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you
This is
so much.
actually memorable quotes by our lovely lady Sharon herself.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
She'll even autograph it for you.
Okay.
Is that okay? A round of applause for our speaker. That was brilliant. I like this one. No more negative self-talk. We do too much. Don't pick at yourself in the mirror with your words and your fingers. Don't pick at yourself. And I like this. Don't be bitter. There's just too much love to give, too much love to get. And so now we're going to do some love giving. And to help me do this part, we are going to call upon the lovely Miss Judy Chetty. Please come to the stage because you are going to present Dean with a gift. Please come to the... Sharon, can you help me with this? Thank you. Can we have some music? Thank you. Would you like to say something or do your presentation?
Yes, ladies, I just wanted to add something on when everyone volunteered in their opinions. One of the most profound things I've learned over the years, which I think we're not taught, I'm very grateful for a lot of what you said, is I think it's important, and I've had to learn, is how to regulate yourself. You know, we all go through a lot, and as women, unfortunately in our culture, the Indian culture, mothers are known as people who scream, lose their top, yell, do everything else. You know, one of the things I want to say, the most important thing you can learn about yourself is when you are dysregulated. So how do you regulate it? You'll feel it in your pulse, you'll feel yourself getting hot, you feel your words come out faster, and it's at that point you need to stop yourself. Because if you don't, your children are getting told things that you're regretting later. You're saying things to your spouse, you're saying things at work. You go to the shopping center and you're saying things to the cashier. You know why? It's not that there's anything wrong with you. It's we haven't been taught how to regulate. So you're standing there and you're frazzled and the queue's long and she's taking long and she can't give you your change, and what are you doing? You're revving. So what happens when you find yourself revving up like that there? The first most important thing you've got to do is notice it's happening. When you notice it's happening, you are then immediately able to take a deep breath, register your environment, register what's happening with you, continue breathing, and start to calm yourself down. Even if you have to say to yourself, can I have a minute, please? Calm yourself down. I don't care what meeting you're in, I don't care what's happening. Even if the child's falling apart on the floor, the most important thing is to calm yourself down. And when you regulate, you'll start to control the things you say to yourself. Because you'll say to yourself, such an idiot. How could I ever did this? You'll get that self-talk thing right, because now you're regulating. You may be late, you don't just scream at everyone in the house. You're going to be late anyway. You're just going to be there more gracious. So I think learn when you're dysregulating, and then learn how to regulate. Regulating for each of us may be different, but I think it's important that you do that. Thank you so much.
What you presented to me.
I'm glad for that. So did you look at that, please?
Yes, take your photo.
So much. At this point, can we please have Miss Charlene Pillay to the front, and your gift will be handed out by Melissa Woodley. Thank you. Would you like to say something? No, we're not doing it Should we have a round of applause? Oh, I love this song. I was in the street. That's what we are. Hey, this sounds good. Did he hear you? How can we be wrong? Stay away louder to another world, and we rely on each other. From one lover to another. I'm getting goosebumps, y'all. Wonderful. Thank you. Can we call the lovely Miss Toko up to the stage? Because we'd like to present Mr. Reggie with the little token. Mr. Reggie, come on up. Miss Toko, can you help us? She's putting on her shoes. That's okay. Can we keep singing? We'll leave the under 18s out of it, right? This is for the grown folk. It's grown folk music. Seniors. Yeah! Well, I want to find out, like, how many of us are maybe 65 in the club? You can raise your hand, because we got a gift for you. I told you we're going to give you a gift, y'all.
Like what you
No, I want to go 60s. Anyone in the 60s here? Okay. Anyone at 65 and above?
My grandmother.
Your grandmother?
She was 78.
Are you in your 70s by any chance? Above 75 by any chance? Don't be shy. Come on up. Please, come on up. Can we have a round of applause for the youngest lady in the house and the loveliest lady in the house? Please, Ma, introduce yourself.
I am Mrs. Governor, and I am a widow now, and I'm 79 years old.
Come through, Ma. Please come through.
Because I am going to give you your gift. Why don't you give that? Why don't you give that?
Thank you so much. But Minister, don't go too far because we're going to need you. Coming up. We have arrived at that part of the program where our lovely Minister is going to do the vote of thanks for us, please. Thank you so much.
Aeroplanes fly, and it's meant to be. Birds fly, and it's meant to be. But in today's world, we learn that time has also grown some wings, and it's learned to fly. And life has become one big rush. But today you've broken the cycle of time and graced us with your presence, and this was meant to be. Thank you for your generosity. With big hearts, you happily sown into a blessing, and we happily received it, and grateful, and we appreciate it. It's always said, sharing is caring, and today the woman of grace would like to tell you, with ease, like a gentle breeze, and a big hearted thank you to all, and we appreciate everything you've done. Gratitude fills our hearts to the brims. To all our sponsors, and each and every person who attended today, thank you deeply, and we appreciate it, and caring enough to spend this time with us today. So shine, ladies, shine as bright as you can, and thank you for making this day possible. So that was a poem. Like, I really can't see over this thing. I am so sorry. So I asked Tina to please write a poem for me, because I really want to say something from the bottom of my heart. And to be honest with you, Tina knew my heart better than I did. So that poem was written by Tina. Ladies, thank you so much for coming. Thank you to every single person who has lent a hand, who's held somebody's hand. I think with ladies, there's so many things that we need to do together. We each have friends. Let's lift our friends up. Let's take them to another level. Tina, like, I didn't like the fact that you made me cry. I did not know the situation you were going through when I introduced you to the Woman of Grace. And that was just probably a few months after Shaz and I started this. But thank you for being our biggest supporter. So in saying thank you, I would just like to mention a few names. Thank you to the program director, Cynthia Singh, to our keynote speaker, Dean Murvan, and our guest speaker, Charlene Pillay, Mr. Reggie Chellan, for music and entertainment, for Cindy for the decor, to Faisal from Bosch, Kiara, mini photographer, Gary from Mobile Auto Repairs, Cassandra from Capstone Manufacturing, Annabelle from Clearcom, Samantha, my mom, Tina, Auntie Savvy and Daph, Jen, Sasha. Salome for the preparation of the meals, Mr. Deva Pillay. Bradley, thank you for your continued support to all our functions. We really do appreciate that. And thank you to everyone who provided financially and helped in other ways. To our helpers and our cleanup team, thank you so much. Please note that we definitely see what you do for us. Thank you so much, and now I would like to call Shaz.
Good afternoon, once again, ladies. I'm sure you enjoyed the program. Can you give yourself a hand? From where I stand, you look very hungry. So yes, I'd just like you to give Bradley a hand once again. I know people don't like me doing this, but you know, it's very important to appreciate people. You know, when you leave your family and home and you come here and you sit with all the ladies, Bradley has always given us sound free of charge. Guys, and if I must tell you, I do PR in the hospital. Toba will tell you what sound cost. Very, very important. Thank you so much. And before I leave, I want to honor my two friends that are here. Because in order to accelerate women, we have to hold on to good friendships. You agree? Yes. So everybody knows Toba, correct? So how many years are we together? Anyone from our last event? It's going to be 28 years. So let me tell you, we do fight, by the way. And she knows we had lots of fights before last week. She knows. But it's very important to hold on to friendships. And then I have my other friend here. Now you haven't met her, so I'm going to tell her to stand. She's very shy. Her name is Dee, and that's Uncle Reggie's daughter. And we've been friends for over 15 years. Dee, can you please stand? Let the people see who you are. And it's so nice to have a mom here. Now, you know, when you have friends, you don't only become friends with them. You become friends with their moms and their dads. And then Uncle Reggie was emailing me and WhatsApping me. What songs do you want? What songs do the ladies like? You know, you create this good repertoire and good friendship with people. And I'd like to welcome my mom as well. Can you please stand so the ladies can welcome you? And then we have a beautiful sister-in-law there. We're just promoting the Chellans here today. Jen, can you please stand so the ladies can welcome you as well? It's very important that we acknowledge women and always motivate and encourage. And remember, the competition is not with each other, the competition is with yourself. And then we go to the program director and decided I wanted to do this one. So as Cynthia says that she's a teacher, and it takes a lot of hard work because they're basically writing their trials here. And I told her I'm booking her for our next event in November, and she says, oh my gosh, we're writing finals. So who wants her in November, guys? Come. Yes. She needs to be here. So Cynthia and I met, as she said, because I didn't like something that I saw in the school that she was teaching in, and it affected my daughter. And then when you touch my daughter, then you touch me. So then I decided, no, let me go to the school. And I think at that time you were deputizing, if I'm not mistaken. And I said, oh my goodness, what am I going to expect here? Because my kids always say, Mom, she's a power to be read with. And then I go there. Remember, I prayed for everything, eh? Yeah. I go and I'm okay. So let me pray. And I prayed. And ladies, here we are, 5 years down the line. Good friends, we chat. She's a perfectionist. Melissa did the agenda about 4 times. We changed it. I read it about 10 times and I saw no mistake. And Cynthia found about 10 mistakes on the agenda. HOD of English, ladies, so you must know. So, Cynthia, thank you on behalf of the Women of Grace. We're very grateful for the time and the efforts, and we honor you today. Thank you for an awesome time, and we'd like to present you with this gift. And she can dance too. Of our program, and then I'm going to call program director because we have 2 more gifts and we don't want to take it back home. She will decide whether she's doing the draw, and then we're going to go into lunch. We're going to go through a process, as Cynthia told you, because there's a lot of glass there and there's lots of us. So I hope you don't mind if you could please go by the draw. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you so much, our director of Women of Grace. Round of applause, please. And we're almost there. I promise you, we're almost there. I'm just checking through. Let's see, it's item number 12, 13. You know what? We're here. We made it. We're almost at the end. So I just want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you to Women of Grace. It was amazing being here. I'm going to ask the music man to play us a song while we call our people to the tables in the kitchen area. But we are going to start with our guests and our keynote speakers, if they could kindly make their way to the kitchen area at this time. All our guest speakers, thank you so much. And while Mr. Chellan entertains us, I've got 2. Yeah, give us I need to behave. Hold on.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, before I continue, this function is on behalf of Women of Grace. We also need to put on record that this function is being seen internationally, and the person that's actually responsible for live streaming this function on YouTube, if you go to your YouTube page, you will see this function on the YouTube. And we need to thank none other than Mr. Sage Governor, my dear friend Sage Governor. He's actually here on the live stream. Secondly, please stand up. Sage Governor, he's in charge. He's actually responsible for the live streaming. Thank you. Thank you. All right, seeing that it's Women's Day, so let's do something by putting the game in the end.
Ladies' night.
All right. Of course it's ladies' night. Oh yeah, come on. Yeah, come on. Oh yes, 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 hey. Oh yes, it's ladies' night, and the feeling is right. Oh yes, it's ladies' night, oh what a night. Oh yes, it's ladies' night, and the feeling is right. Oh yes, it's ladies' night, oh what a night. Girls, y'all got to work, and not the pressure and
and the feeling's right. Oh yes, this lady's mine. Oh what a ride. Oh yes, this lady's mine, and the feeling's right. Oh yes, this lady's mine. Oh what a ride. Oh please go right. They would. You can fulfill all your dreams. Fighting everywhere. This is not here, got to be there. Let's all celebrate. Please, I think it's right. Come on, let's celebrate. Lady, I love you. Hey, come on. Oh yeah. Baby's night, huh? Oh yes, this lady's night, and the feeling's right. Oh yes, this lady's night. Oh what a night. Oh yes, this lady's night, and the feeling's right. Oh yes, this lady's night. Oh what a night. Girl, you're got to want, and not the passion everywhere. You dance, you smile, you guys go wild. So choose your time, you got so much to find. Oh yes, this lady's right, and the feeling's right. Oh yes, this lady's right. Oh what a night. Oh yes, this lady's right, and the feeling's right. Oh yes, this lady's right. Oh what a night. Hey. So lady, come on, stay away. Come on, let's go, lady. Yeah. Hey, the ball is way back. Some ladies like stepping out ladies like. Hey, got some ladies like stepping out ladies like. Feeling's right, and the feeling's right. Oh yes, this lady's right. Oh what a night. Oh yes, this lady's right, and the feeling's right. Oh yes, this lady's right. Oh what a night. Oh let's go right, and they will see. You can fulfill all your dreams. Body here, body there, everywhere. She's not here, you got to be there. It sounds good, all the same. This lady's night, and the feeling's right. Sounds celebrate. Alright, this is right. See, you guys are not in this relaxing mood, so you're going to play something rocking for you guys. We're going to do something like this here. It's called Josephine. Cradle my window, thinking of you. Geez, I'm off your I will come to Josephine. I'll send you all my love, and every single step I take for you, my Josephine. I'll send you all my love, yeah. Josephine, I'll send you all my love. There's a song on the radio, I can still fly. Oh, you are the reason you're in my sky. Josephine, I'll send you all my love. Josephine, I'll send you all my love. Send you all my love. Josephine, I'll send you all my love. Josephine, I'll send you all my love. Every step I take it for you. My Josephine, I'll send you all my love. I'll send you all my love. Josephine, I'll send you all my love. So far away, I'll send you all my love. Oh yeah, Josephine, I'll send you all my love. I'll send you all my love. Josephine, I'll send you all my love. All right.
We got two more prizes, ladies, so each up is one of them is going to be a dance song. Have to. No, I love it. Here's some Sade. We're going to tell you when you want the Kalingas.
All right, okay. All right, we're going to do something cool.
You go.
Yeah, I love myself.
We're going to do something by the Bee Gees, especially for the woman.
Thank you. I love my glasses too.
Girl, I'm coming everywhere. See you coming every day. I never really looked before. Now that you check the break away, suddenly you're in my life. But up in everything I do, You got me where you are, just trying to keep a hold on you. Even though I don't have the power to die, my only chance to be happy day. If I lose you, know I will die. Say you'll always be my baby, we can make it shine. We can take forever, just a minute at a time. Oh, 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 that woman. Oh, that woman to me, baby. Oh, that woman. Oh, that woman. Oh, that woman to me. Come on. Now the rocks are all true. People so alive, like you and me, can see myself. They picture me with you, so she all fit for you. Thinking about the people that will love like in 1,000 years. I'll fall in love with you again. This is the only way that we should fly. This is the only way to go home. If I lose, you know I looked out with time. Say you'll always be my baby, we can make it shiny. We can take forever, just a minute of time. Ooh, oh, that woman. Oh, that woman to me. Baby, oh, that woman. Ooh, oh, that woman to me. Oh, that woman to me, baby. Oh, that woman. Oh, that woman. Oh, that woman to me. Oh, that woman, baby. Oh, that woman to me. Oh, that woman. Oh, that woman to me. Oh, that woman. Oh, that woman to me. All right, please. Would someone like an instrumental, maybe by the ladies? Okay, I'm doing an instrumental by the ladies.
Okay, while you guys are each now play something cool. Something will change the grass. I'm trying to romance see down the all when I walk into my life I'm really what's up inside. Alright. Only fools, only fools rushing. But I cannot fall in love for you. Shall I stay? Will it be the same if I can always fall in love with you. But I could river surely to the sea, darling, someday that's meant to be. Take my home, like you. I cannot fall in love with you like a river. Surely it's his, darling, it's only got something all meant to be. Take my hand, take my home, like you. I can falling in love with you. Oh, I can falling in love with you.
This is for you, sir. Thank you. And we have the last prize. Ready? Okay, it's a freestyle now too. You sing gentlemen.
Okay, there you go. Go on, ladies, let's get on the stage, let's get on the floor.
in the driveway.
Always